Good morning and welcome. Thank you for being with us today. We will be covering safety apps today in our webinar. The agenda is we will show the process. We have a guest speaker today who will join us, and she will show the process of registering for the SafeShowings app and give you an overview of how the app works, the process of installing the app, as well as all the functionalities of the app. And then I will go into an overview of HAR's Verified User tool. All right, Helen, thank you so much for being online today. We really appreciate your time and your presentation.
Thank you so much. I look forward to sharing my passion with your members about safety. What you'll hear first is a short video. It's a minute long. It's what we play when we go to trade shows. When people walk up and I'm speaking to someone, they can kind of get a high-level view of who we are. Then I'll share with you my story, what happened to me almost 4 years ago that inspired me to create SafeShowings. I'll talk about the research that I did. I spent about 6 months looking at the products that are on the NAR website under Safety Resource. I'll explain what makes our app unique, how it can deter crime before it happens. Then I'll share a video with you of the app. It's a quick demo, maybe 2 minutes long. After that, I know and anticipate questions that people may ask. So I spend a couple minutes going through the typical questions and answers for those, and certainly want to be available if there are any other questions. We'll then look at how we help your association promote safety. So you'll be getting a monthly safety newsletter from us each month, and it will be forwarded to you, giving you safety tips and talking points. Then I'll show you how to access the app for free. If you don't remember anything, I hope you'll remember that in order to get it for free, you do have to use the special link for your association. If you go to the App Store to download it, it will cause an error and we will try to bill you, and I can get that straightened out for you, but try to remember, do not go to the App Store. We really want to make sure that you take advantage of the invested free app. Okay, so we'll go ahead and start.
Did you know that over 760,000 real estate professionals have had situations where they feared for their safety when they enter a property alone with a stranger? The SafeShowings mobile app was developed by a realtor to give real estate professionals proactive control over their own safety. It is quick and easy to record names, automatically capture exact GPS addresses, and it prompts you to capture a secure image of each potential buyer's face, a feature unique to SafeShowings. Over 200 real estate professionals have been murdered in the last decade while showing homes to prospective buyers. SafeShowings provides protection and peace of mind for real estate agents, homeowners, and potential buyers as it aims to deter crime before it starts. With SafeShowings, real estate professionals and their loved ones feel more secure, knowing that SafeShowings will automatically notify them with identifying details and geolocation in an emergency. For more information, visit SafeShowings.com. Find SafeShowings in the App Store or Google Play today and start feeling safe during showings and open houses.
This coming March will be 4 years ago. I was a new realtor. I'm in Charleston, South Carolina. It was kind of a bucket list to move here, and I changed careers, got my real estate license, and I'd had it for about 6 months. And I set an appointment to meet a buyer in a property on a Saturday at 2. And when I drove up to the neighborhood, the hair on the back of my neck stood up. It just didn't feel like a safe neighborhood. But I parked my car, waited for the buyer to arrive. He arrives, we go in the home, and I left the door open. That's what we're taught to do, just to give ourselves an out. I stood kind of close to the front door. He went to the back of the house, and it was a small house. He got on his cell phone. A minute later, a truck drove up, and 2 men jumped on the porch. You can imagine how that startled me. I was already nervous, and my heart stopped. I thought, oh my gosh, nobody knows where I am or who I'm with. That's the first thing that came to my mind. And I knew I was in a very vulnerable situation. But thankfully, I'm here to tell the rest of the story. What happened was they were driving by. They saw the for sale sign. They saw the realtor magnet on my car, and they saw that the door was open. So they thought it was an open house. I regained my composure. I gave them my card. I told them I was working with a buyer and they could call me for an appointment. But I'll never forget that feeling. And I left that day thinking, I've got to reprioritize my thinking process. I need to put safety over sale. That day it was more about sale than my safety. I need to be proactive about safety. And NAR tells us that over 38%, probably more than that now, of us have had situations like I have. And when we go to trade shows and travel and people come up to my booth, I've been told, I've been doing this for 2 years, promoting my app, and probably 45 events. Every single time we hear their stories, they tell us, let me tell you what happened to me. So there is a valid problem, but I did my research and I found out that over 200 realtors have been murdered in the last decade. And this is the binder. It's my why. I know it's kind of hard to see in the virtual way, but it is a book that I printed out and read their stories. And I've been searching for 20 years to find out my purpose in life. I want to make a difference. I just didn't know that it would be a technology solution. But my purpose, my why, is for those that didn't get a second chance. The 200 people in our industry that lost their lives. I'm sure that if they could speak to us today, they would tell us that they didn't know they were working with a criminal. We can't look at a person and know. We cannot speak to a person and know if they have criminal intentions. Those are the faces of 16. And one interesting fact that this isn't a coincidence, because early on when I was presenting to people, they would say, Helen, I get it. You're a female, you should carry a gun. Well, no, this is half men, half women. And that's to tell us all, you are all vulnerable. We're all vulnerable because of the career we have, and we need to put our safety first. These people lost their lives, and I want to make sure we protect each other. This is a picture of Beverly Carter. I know her son, Carl. You probably have heard him speak. He's amazing. We're friends. And he said, Helen, I think if my mom had had safe showings, she would be here today. That's my other reason for doing what I do. But not only are we at risk working with buyers and sellers alone, we could be putting homeowners at risk, our clients. Not on purpose, of course, but let's just say your house is on the market. I could bring somebody in not knowing they have a criminal background. They can look and see where your security systems are, where your child's bedroom is, and where you store your valuables. They could come back in 2 weeks or 2 months and harm you and your family, but because we don't have a law, policy, or mandate for our industry, we don't know how many crimes have been committed against the homeowner. I don't think we think that about their safety as often as we do our own. I'm passionate about realtor safety, buyer safety, and the homeowner safety because there are 3 parties involved. Right out of college in 1986, I managed apartments in Sterling, Virginia. And even in the 80s, the apartment industry was ahead of us, way ahead of us in terms of security and safety. We made renters that want to see an empty apartment surrender a driver's license in the office. We did that because we knew if they knew that we had their ID, they would behave and want to be able to pick that back up after the showing. And I think that's just an interesting fact because in the apartment industry, you're showing an empty apartment, yet we're bringing people into homes where children live, valuables are stored, and there's no policy in place for safety across our industry. I wish that would change. I did my research. I spent about 6 months looking at the NAR website under Safety Resources. We've been there for almost 4 years now. And I was looking for 3 things. I wanted a product that tells every buyer and seller, I'm in control of my safety in a nice way. Don't mess with me. And I'll explain how we do that. But also I wanted to solve that feeling of fear I felt when I said, nobody knows where I am or who I'm with. And you can see most of the products have the ability to alert your emergency contacts where you are. But think about it. If there's a crime committed, all that does is tell your emergency contacts where to find the body. It doesn't tell them who committed the crime. So I wanted to create a tool that is proactive. And if there is a crime, we have all the information we need to give to authorities to solve that crime. There's a big difference between proactive and reactive. And I like graphics, so I kind of show the picture to explain it. If I had a gun 4 years ago standing on a porch with 3 men, it would probably be in a purse and they don't know I have it. I would not have had the ability, if they wanted to attack and harm me, I would not have had the ability to control getting it out of the purse, taking control of the weapon and using it to defend myself. It would have been too late. It's reactive at that point. The way that it could be proactive, if you do carry a concealed permit, you need to tell people before you meet with them, hey, I just want you to know I care about safety. I carry a concealed permit and I have a weapon. I hope I never have to use it. Then you're in control. You're empowering yourself to let others know you have a policy for safety. But in this example, no, it would not have helped me. If you run a background check and you don't tell somebody you're doing it, they don't know that you're in control of safety. The number one fear that a criminal has is getting caught, not the punishment for their crime. They're cowards. A doorbell camera is proactive. If you have a doorbell camera, the criminals know they're being videoed. They'll avoid situations that are risky in terms of getting caught. That's what they fear the most, is getting caught, not the punishment for their crime. We teach realtors to take control of their safety from the moment they're setting the appointment in the safety of their office. And I'll explain how we do that. We have talking point graphics that your association can share with you from our safety toolkit. And basically, you just make it your own. But one example would be to say, hey, I look forward to meeting you, Marilyn, on Saturday at 2. I just want you to know our association cares about safety. It's the world we live in. We use SafeShowings. It's a realtor safety app, and we're required to get an image of everyone before we go inside the property. That way, if it's a criminal that thinks you're an easy target, guess what? They're not going to show up. They're going to push back. They don't want to work with someone that could catch them, especially if they have a mugshot. Think about it. That's the last thing they want, is have their picture taken. So that could be what saves your life. Do it for listing appointments and for selling, working with buyers as well. We all know to arrive to a property early, and I like to say at least 30 minutes because you never know if there's going to be traffic or whatever. But when you drive up to the property in the safety of your car, you'll see in a minute how our app works. But basically, you're going to press a button that says create showing. The next thing happens, the timer starts. Then our app says, who are you meeting? And you know who you're meeting with. You set the appointment. So you auto-populate that simply by starting to type Marilyn Maxwell and then touch on the phone number. It goes straight up into the app. That's the key component that helps us catch a criminal if a crime is committed. Then when they drive up, you meet them, you get out of the safety of your car, you greet them, and you set, if there's a husband, wife, and children or whatever, it's one picture. It's the actionable step of taking a photo that can save your life. And you can do it a selfie with them if you want to, whatever you're comfortable with. We also provide a monthly safety newsletter we share with your contact with your association, and they may forward to you, but be on the lookout for that. It'll have safety tips and a reminder to access the paid for version of the app. You must click this link. Again, do not go to the App Store or there'll be a charge and we'll have to unregister you, which we can, but we just want to remind you to use the link that's special for your association. We provide rider signs and open house flyers. The flyers, you're just 8 by 10, you can print it, put it in a plexiglass frame and take it to every single open house that you do. Use the rider signs for your listings. This tells every buyer that drives by or goes inside that home that you care about safety, and guess what? They're going to remember you when they list their property. But it also tells every criminal, ooh, there might be cameras, they might be recording me. I better not go in that home and do anything that I shouldn't because it'll be a waste of time. I'll get caught. Here's a quick demo of our app.
By downloading the SafeShowings app, you're proactively preparing to take advantage of more secure client contact when conducting open houses and showing appointments. Start by entering the emergency contacts of your choice, like friends, your broker, or family members. It's an easy one-step process. The app features an easy-to-adjust timer feature that will alert your emergency contacts if you've not responded during the time frame you have set. When showing properties, the app will track your exact location via the GPS feature. You can autofill your appointment's information right from the contacts in your phone. You can see that the app provides significant safety at this point, but there's more. When first meeting with the appointment, use your phone to snap a photo of the client. Research demonstrates that this approach is the best way to deter criminal behavior. Now your contacts will be notified if you don't check in based on the timer. and identifying information based on the photo from your showing. All of these features give you accountability for safely doing business during your showings and open houses. Following each showing, the app gives you the opportunity to make a record of the appointment. The app provides free form notes that the app will store for you. By the way, the SafeShowings app saves all the information from each showing so that you can go back and review your opportunities for sales. The open house feature provides the same great security options. Always be sure to get the facial image for all contacts during your open houses. There is a handy 5-star rating system for your showing contacts. This, along with your notes, can alert you and others of potential problems from a suspicious person or from any previous showing.
Some of the typical questions I hear when I give a presentation are regarding the image of the face. People will say, Helen, why do you get an image of a face? Number one. Secondly, they'll say, you know, what do the buyers and sellers say when you tell them in the safety of your office as you set your appointment that you use a tool that requires that you have to get an image of a face? What do they say? And the third question is, where does the image go? Right after I studied the market and looked at the competitive landscape, 6 months after that situation happened, we launched our first version of our app, SafeShowings. At that time, I was passionate about getting an image of a driver's license. That came from my property management background. And I went to the NAR conference that following May to observe and walk the trade show floor, get ideas before I started to travel. I spent 2 years traveling before the pandemic promoting our app. And I was going downstairs to get coffee, and there's this guy standing there. He looks like Duck Dynasty. He's got the beard and tattoos, and he's standing in the middle, so it's hard for me to go around him, and he's 2 feet away, and he says, "Who are you?" And it startled me because he's intimidating. I look around me, I'm like, "Oh, you're talking to me." And he said, "I saw you on the airplane. I saw you 2 more times. I told myself if I saw you again, I was going to find out who you are and what you do." And God has a sense of humor because he put him right in front of me, and he's my business partner. We met in DC, but he lives in Charleston. So do I. So that's why he saw me on the airplane, obviously. But when we got back to Charleston, he sat down with me, and I was in his office, and he said, "Helen, why are you getting an image of a driver's license?" And I told him why. And he said, he had a creative word, but he said, "Ooh, that you need to get an image of a face, not a driver's license." And the reason for that is his background's in he wrote code that launches missiles. He knows a lot about artificial intelligence. And he said, think about it. When we take a picture with our camera from our phone, people can't fake that image, right? But who looks like their driver's license? And if they're a criminal, it's probably fake if you're doing an image of a driver's license. I was like, that's brilliant. And he said, when you tell them you're going to take a picture, they can't say, I forgot my face. So that's why we do the image of the face. The second question I hear is, what do the buyers and sellers say when you're on the phone and you're telling them, we use SafeShowings, it's a realtor safety app, and we're required to get an image of everyone before we go in a property. Reverse the role. What if you were a buyer or a seller and a realtor told you that? Wouldn't you respect that realtor for having a policy for safety in today's world? Wouldn't you remember that realtor when you sell your house? Wouldn't you want to use them as a listing agent? So if they're genuinely sincere about buying or selling a home, they're going to remember you. They're going to respect you. People don't push back if they're sincere. Now, if they're a criminal, they're probably going to get angry, push back, refuse to work with you, maybe have some colorful conversation, but that can be what saves your life. So we need to reverse our mentality of caring more about the sale than our safety. We need to be a strong industry, just like the apartment industry that has a policy for safety. So just remember that. People don't push back. The last thing I'll say on that subject, we have had roundtable discussions and discuss this in detail. And think about it. We're all on social media. Our image is out there, whether you're a realtor or not. You go by doorbell cameras, you're being videoed. We go by ATMs, we're being videoed. Any public building, airports, doctor's offices. So the image is out there. There's no reason to get angry and push back. If someone does, choose not to work with them. That's what I would do. We have plenty of buyers and sellers out there. Anyway, the third question I hear is, where's that image go? It goes to our cyber secure cloud, not to your phone, your section of the camera roll or whatever. And that's because if I'm attacked and I'm trying to get an image or whatever happens and we're in the front yard, my phone is destroyed, my 3 emergency contacts will still be sent the last location of the phone, who I'm with, because remember, you put that in before you get out of the safety of your car. And they'll be sent an image if I were able to take a photo. So that's why it goes to the cyber secure cloud. The main screen is the middle screen. It starts at 45 minutes because I know most of us can get in and out of a property in less than 20. We teach realtors to reset the timer. Don't wait till it counts all the way down. Reset it even at 19 minutes because you're probably not working with a criminal if you follow the process that we teach. And if you can push buttons, you can use our app. You don't have to type anything. You press a button. Create showing starts the timer. The next thing the app says is, who are you meeting with? You do, I guess, pull from your contacts. As I started to type Kevin Johnson, I touched on his phone number and it goes into the app. You get it straight from your contacts. Street by street, road by road. If you have multiple properties, it's going to update the address of where you are. It's pretty cool how that works. So I reset the timer. If I forget, like we do, we get distracted. When it gets to 5 minutes, it's going to send you a text that says, are you safe? If you are, reset your timer. That's your last warning. If the time runs out, it's going to send an alert to your 3 emergency contacts, just like it's supposed to. The menu section of our app is the top left corner. That's where you'll see the history of your showings, your emergency contacts, the open house feature where you put the number of hours, number of minutes. If for some reason someone doesn't like taking an image of a face or, doesn't feel comfortable, whatever that case may be, you can turn that feature off. Be consistent, though. I think I'll remind you of the 200 people that have been murdered. I guarantee you they didn't know they were working with a criminal. So if you do that, be consistent. I think it's important that we do get an image, but that's totally up to you. The emergency alarm button is in the menu section because it's where your thumb would be. So it's a 2-second touch. You touch menu, emergency alarm. It calls 911 in 10 seconds and it sends your 3 emergency contacts, your exact location, who you're with, and an image of their face. Hopefully you took a picture. And then this is another talking point graphic, a good way to handle open houses. I did a lot of those my first year. And you can either greet people outside if the weather's nice or at the door and just say, hey, the homeowner has required I be accountable for who I allow in their home. I just need to get an image. You've got the app running. Remember, you set the timer to 3 hours, 30 minutes before they come in, before your first guest comes in. That's what you do with everybody that comes in, greet them at the door. If there are 10 people in our market, we have those situations that are in line to come in. Just do 1 photo. It's not complicated. Don't do 10. And if you want to see the history of your showings, the date, the time, the buyer or seller's name, the address, it's all in my showing section of our app in the menu section. The create showing button, that's just what it looks like. Everything's very logical. That's just kind of how my brain works. And I wanted to create a great tool that you just have to push buttons. After you end the showing and you're in the safety of privacy of your car, we will ask you to rate how you felt working with the buyer or the seller from a safety standpoint. This part of our app is the only shareable part for our industry, and the only intention for it is for us as an industry to help each other stay safe. Just like Uber and Lyft, you have to complete this step to start another showing, or when you're wanting to book Uber, it forces you to do this too. But you do have to give at least 1 star. But remember, you're probably deterring criminal behavior if you follow what we teach. You're not working with a criminal, and you probably want to give everyone 5 stars in that case. But if you had a negative situation, this is where we'll we'll talk through it. But I work with Kim Hall. That's her phone number in Charleston. She goes to your area in Houston, and she's working with a member that follows the process we teach. And they say, hey, Kim, I look forward to meeting you Saturday at 2. Our association cares about safety. It's just the world we live in. We use Safe Showings. It's a realtor safety app. And we just need to get an image of everyone before we go inside a property. She's probably going to interrupt you and say, I know about that app. I work with Helen in Charleston. She uses it too. I'm already in the system. Even if she doesn't, when you're in the safety of your office, you've set the appointment, you hang up the phone, you start our app, you press create showing right here. The timer starts, then it says, who are you meeting? And you start typing in Kim Hall. As soon as you touch on her phone number, her image will come up. And if I had a bad situation, I would give her 1 star because you have to give at least 1. And I would make a note, hey, please call me. I want to share with you what happened. Be safe, something like that. That's the only intention, is for us to be able to protect each other. If your timer runs out before you're able to end the showing, your 3 emergency contacts will be sent this text message. It has self-explanatory paragraph. There might be a problem. The middle section will be a 3D image of the property, a pin drop map image, and also the exact address. It'll have the buyer or the seller's name and an image that you took. Now, in a case like that, if it was a sincere issue with the buyer or the seller, wouldn't you want an image of their face to be there versus a squirrel or a tree or, you know, a driver's license that might not be real? Just keep that in mind as you're using our app. It's built in for a safety purpose. We gave that the same presentation to the chief of police here, and he said, you're making our job so much easier. We are releasing a new version this year that we can discuss later, but it'll have a background check feature. It'll cost more, but it'll be worth it. And at the appropriate time, whether it's at renewal or before renewal, that is coming soon. If you don't have cell signal, still role play it the same way. There are tools like modems, routers, or whatever that are mobile you can take with you if you work in a market that has a lot of pockets where there's no cell reception. I doubt it's that way in Houston, though. I think it's pretty flat. I'm not sure if I remember right. But anyway, if you role play it the same way, if you know there's no signal, please let your emergency contacts know that you're going to be showing property that day at a certain time, the address, and to check on you if they haven't heard from you by a certain time. Just role play it the same way. And your association has purchased Safe Showings for you. We're super excited. We want you to be happy and safe and use the tools that we provide. I'm going to show you now how easy it is to access our paid for version of the app. We have a link that your association has provided to you. And the important thing, again, is do not go to the App Store. It'll cause an error. And when that happens, you just send us a message and we'll get it straightened out. But it'll save you some time and headache if you just use the provided link. But when you click this link, I want to show you what the registration process looks like. Hi, I'm Helen Hudson, the founder of Safe Showings. I'm also a realtor in Charleston, South Carolina. I created Safe Showings because 3 years ago, I had a situation where I feared my own personal safety. You're receiving this video because your MLS, association, or brokerage has purchased Safe Showings Enterprise for you. So congratulations. In order to receive it for free, you do have to follow the instructions on this flyer. It's super simple. You click under option 1 there, the download button, the download link. It takes you to this screen. Then you press the button that says register here. Then it takes you to this step where you enter your cell phone number, your first name, your last name, your email address. Be careful when you're typing in all this information. Make sure it's accurate. And also create a password. Then click the agree to terms and press proceed. The next thing that'll happen is you'll receive a 4-digit code to your cell phone. Enter the 4-digit code here and press the button. It will take you to this screen. The last step is you click the button that says send the link. The link goes to your phone. If you have an iPhone, you click the first option at the top that's highlighted. If you have an Android, you click the one for Android. Then if you want to know more about our app under option 2, you can click learn how it works, and it takes you to this instructional video.
By downloading the SafeShowings app, you're proactively preparing to take it.
And we already shared that video with you, but feel free to ask any questions and send in any of those to me, Marilyn. If anyone reaches out and has further questions, I'm here to help support your efforts to get downloads and keep people safe. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Very powerful story that you had. It can happen so quickly that you find yourself in a dangerous situation, can't it?
It does, and I feel so different now. Now that
yes, really great app. Just kind of compensate for those situations. Awesome information. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Do you want me to switch it back? Let's see. There you go.
There you go. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a great rest of your day.
You too. Take care. Bye-bye.
All right. Powerful information and a powerful app. So simple to use, but very powerful and can really help keep you safe, I think. So excellent information. Going on into the VerifiedUser, another great tool in the HAR toolbox. We're simply going to go and log into the HAR members portal. Now, before I go into VerifiedUser, I want to talk a little bit about how you can get to the link for SafeShowings. If you just come to the member portal, log in as a Realtor member, and just start typing SafeShowings, you'll see the link for that app there in the suggestion box. And then it's just a matter of clicking on the red button right here that says register here. Fill in the basics about yourself and download your app for free. Again, if you don't go through the HAR portal by using the special link that's already embedded in that app search, then you may be charged for the app. So you want to make sure that you use the link in the members only portal. Same process for VerifiedUser. VerifiedUser is also at no additional cost for you. It's rolled into your HAR standard membership, just like the SafeShowings app is. If you click on the VerifiedUser after you've done a quick search for it, it'll take you to the tool. The idea behind this tool is to verify the information of somebody based on the name and phone number that they've given you. So this is another preventative or pre-meeting safety feature that you can use. If you come to the screen where it says VerifiedUser, you'll just simply click here where it says Verify New Customer and fill in the basics, first name, last name, and mobile phone number. And then you just click Next. It sends the consumer a text message. They receive a notification that you are wanting to verify their information, and they just complete the basics of reviewing the name and phone number that you've put in there. And then they're asked to also put in their email address and verify their information. Once they've submitted it, you'll see down at the bottom of the page here, when it's verified, you can view the details about that particular person. When you are waiting, again, you can see the process here. It tells you the status of that particular person's information. The phone number was verified on my end, but I'm waiting on the consumer to do their part here. Right. Again, once you have found the details, once you have verified the details, rather, once the consumer has verified their information, you get information about them, including photos, previous addresses, and social media, if that's available. So any public data that can be found on that particular person is going to be displayed in your results. If they don't choose to respond, that could be a red flag for you. If they're not willing to verify their basic information and send you what you need, then that could be a signal to you that they may not be very safe to meet alone and work with without that verification. Initially, you're going to be given 5 credits, so you'll have the ability to run a verification on 5 different people. After that, you need to buy credits. above and beyond those 5 if you want to continue to use the program. And you can buy them in blocks of 5. So to purchase 5 search credits, it's $8.25. To purchase 10, it would be $16.50. And for 15 search credits, it would be $24.75. Once you use your 5 credits, the ability to purchase more credits will be displayed on this page. It's a simple process if you want to continue to using that product. Again, I think it's this coupled with the SafeShowings app are immensely important and create a real environment of safety before you even left your office for the appointment to meet someone. So excellent products to use and very simple to use. We hope you learned some good information about the different safety measures that you can take using things that are included with your HAR membership. If you have any questions or need anything else, feel free to reach out and let me know. And we appreciate your time very much logging into the webinar today and hope you have a great rest of your day.